The handsome Scottish hunk who plays everyone's favorite Highlander, Jamie Fraser, has had his own fair share of surprising facts, from growing up in a castle to body image issues. Here are Sam Heughan's secrets that fans never knew. Everyone has some skeletons in their closets, Hollywood actors included, but sometimes it's easy to forget that the beautiful people we see on our screens and in movie theaters are human. Like us, they have had and still do deal with their own struggles. Outlander star Sam Heughen is no exception. Let's dig into some of the chiseled jaw star's hidden secrets. Where else to start but with the actor's unorthodox childhood? Life was a little strange for Sam from the get-go. He was born to hippie parents in a strange commune called Gandalf's Garden. Yes, that's the same Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. In his biography, Waypoints: My Scottish Journey, Heughen wrote about how his father left him, his mother, and his brother at a very young age. Sam said, "When I was 18 months old, my father left home and never came back. For a long time, his whereabouts were a mystery." Heughen talked about the first time he ever spoke to his absentee dad when he was 10 years old on his birthday. Naturally, this had a negative effect on the actor. He admitted it gave him some trust issues from that sense of abandonment. Heughen wrote, "I don't let people into my life easily. It's something that takes a while to develop trust. I have very few close friends. This could no doubt be due to my father's disappearance when I was very young. He was young, although I don't use that as an excuse." Thankfully, Sam has forgiven him, although he said that he still doesn't understand why he left them. With their father gone, Sam's mother, Chrissy Heughen, was left alone to raise their kids. An artist and artisan papermaker, she struggled to provide for them, which led to another secret most of the Scottish actor's fans probably don't know. Heughen and his family lived in the former stables of Kenmure Castle. The castle was once the birthplace of the King of Scots, John Balliol. It was also said to be haunted, though Sam said he never had a run-in with the famed headless piper who spooked visitors and residents alike. While living in Kenmure Castle, he may not have been haunted by a ghost, but Sam was haunted by his body image issues. Seeing the actor now, with his six-pack abs and muscles for days, you might be surprised to hear that he's always struggled with how he's seen himself. The future snack used to be pretty chubby as a kid. Not only that, he was nearsighted. Unable to afford a nice pair of glasses, his mother could only provide him with cheap bottle-based spectacles. Being overweight with bottles for glasses isn't a great start to building self-esteem. Things only got harder when he did get his big break in Hollywood. Sam Heughen wrote in his book that he also had a hard time keeping up with the standards of the entertainment industry. Heughen wrote, "I paid attention to calorie intake and considered every meal in terms of what it might mean for my chances of getting work. In hindsight, when I consider that time in my life, I recognize that I was living for a while with a low-level eating disorder. The requirement for an actor to look a certain way has driven me too far at times. I love training, but in my early years that led to a bad relationship with food. I rationed what I ate, often consuming just salad and pickles, knowing they were low in calories. I certainly wasn't taking on enough fuel for all the running I was doing, let alone for a long day on set," the actor continued. "It was a form of control, as I tried to make my way in an industry in which actors are pretty much powerless when it comes to securing work. I just felt like I had to do everything I could in order to make myself selectable for a role. The right clothes, hair color, accent, etc. They were all things I tried to adapt or change as the audition required. It wasn't healthy, nor did it make me particularly happy." Sam Heughen also acknowledged that it wasn't just men who had to deal with these pressures. He admitted that women had a much harder and higher standard to have to try and keep up with. Luckily, Sam was able to channel his body image issues into a great charity and cause. In 2015, he started the My Peak Challenge, which is a nutrition, support, and training program that not only helps participants get in shape and eat right, but raises money for charities. Now, what a lot of actors don't like to talk about is where they were in life before hitting it big. For Sam, life before Outlander wasn't easy. Like a lot of creative people and entertainers, he had to work multiple jobs to try and support himself, while still pursuing his dreams of acting. The next secret to reveal is the jobs the Scottish actor had to endure just to get by. And man, the guy sure did do a variety of things. For a little while, Sam Heughen worked as a bailiff or security at a community theater. He was the manager of an internet cafe. There was a time when he spent a spell delivering food and waiting tables. Sam was a receptionist at a mental hospital. And the future Hollywood hunk even sold perfume at UK retailer Harrods. But right before he got cast in Outlander, he was living in a sketchy neighborhood outside London, while tending bar at a local tavern. In his own words, Sam talked about his life up to that fateful moment he learned he got the part. Sam said, "I had a long period of auditioning successfully, or mostly unsuccessfully in London, and getting to know the casting directors. I had varying success, but I was also a jobbing actor, so I was working in bars as well, trying to support myself. My first taste of Hollywood was I did a self-tape for Tron, and at the time of the movie, I was living in a really crappy apartment on the outskirts of London. There were drug dealers on my street. I remember having very little money to my name, and this beautiful car turned up to pick me up first class, flown to Hollywood, staying in this amazing hotel. I remember being terrified that I had to tip the driver when I got to LA, because I'd read about tipping in Los Angeles. I only had $20 or whatever, so I gave him my last $20. I'm like, I'm staying in this amazing hotel, but I can't touch anything. I can't touch the minibar because I won't be able to pay for it. But it was an amazing process to go on set and be part of this huge production. I was there for 3 days of tests. It was my first taste, but I remember walking down Hollywood Boulevard and my phone rang, and it was the local pub in London where I was working at the time. They were like, "Hey mate, you're 5 minutes late. Are you going to be here?" I was like, "No, I'm afraid I'm in Hollywood." That didn't go down too well. Thankfully, it all turned out just fine for Sam Heughen. One shocking thing that Outlander fans might be dismayed to hear is that Sam Heughen isn't a redhead. Despite having quite a bit of ginger in his family, Sam had to dye his hair for the role of Jamie Fraser. It wasn't an easy process. At one point, his hair turned purple because he'd bleached it so many times. It also started falling out. Could you imagine a bald Sam Heughen? Thankfully, costume designers decided it would be easier for him to just start wearing wigs. So while Sam Heughen's secrets might not be as scandalous as some entertainers, it's always interesting to hear about the lives actors led before gracing our screens. From body image issues to roughing it on the wrong side of the tracks, these were some Sam Heughen secrets fans never knew.